So this seminar is going to be uploaded and recorded to YouTube, just letting everybody know, just for everybody else's convenience if they can't make it here. If you could please place your officer abbreviation before your name, just so I know what your position is. Like example, Vice President Membership, Casey Jones. Don't have to put the club or anything. I just ask if you please mute your microphone until the question and answer. But if you do have any questions, please type them in the chat. I may not be able to see them as I'm going to be talking for about 30 minutes before Q&A, but we got a lot of veterans in here, like Brian and Robbie and a couple other people, Mary, that will be able to answer your questions, and I appreciate you coming. Oh, here we go. Why isn't it going? Okay, there we go. Toastmaster Club Marketing 101, branding and marketing your club. I am the presenter, Troy Dukart, Distinguished Toastmaster. I'm the District 6 Public Relations Manager. The reason that I wanted to do this is because not only is it required in the District Leadership Handbook, but we've been getting a lot of feedback that this is an area that could use some help from the district. And I'm going to speak for about half an hour, and then I want to hear what's on your mind, what's going on in your club. So if you brought questions, that's great. You don't have to stay after the question and answer. It's just available there for you. So let's begin. I'm going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you can stand and put your hand on your heart, that's fine. Or you can just sit, put your hand in your heart. I'll say the pledge, and you can say it with me with your microphone off. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you guys very much. All right, I want to ask somebody to read this. I'm going to pick somebody I'm not too familiar with. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's covering up the name. Let's see. Why is it covering up your name? How about Rita? Could you read this club mission statement, please?
Sure. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth.
Thank you, Rita. All right, so here's our agenda for tonight. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, not just because we all like talking about ourselves, but there is a point to it, and I'm going to get that to you after I'm doing my introduction. The second thing is we're going to talk about why it's important that Vice President memberships and Vice President public relations work together. When you go to these club officer trainings, a lot of it's individually focused, but these two roles actually work together in tandem, just like a president and a vice president education. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about protecting the brand, why that's important. Some marketing tips. I know you guys probably looking forward to that. I'm going to give you some resources. I'm going to send this PowerPoint out to all the people that signed up as well, so all the links will be in there. We're going to have my golden rule. Have to wait to the end for that surprise. And then we're going to do question and answer. Are you guys ready? All right, let's go. All right, do a little introduction about who I am. My name is Troy Dukart, Distinguished Toastmaster. I was born in Aurora, Colorado, but I grew up here most of my life. I spent 4 years in California, and I spent half a year in Japan. But I've spent most of my life here. I went to the University of Twin Cities, University of Minnesota Twin Cities, dang it. And I had a bachelor's degree in Asian language and literature, Japanese. Konnichiwa minasan, yoroshiku onegaishimasu. I am an author. I'm an Air Force veteran. This is actually where I joined Toastmasters. I was in from 2014 to 2018, and I joined when I was in there. I got Area Director of the Year for 2019 to 2020. I've been a contributing member to 3 President's Distinguished Clubs. I was awarded my Distinguished Toastmaster last year in June. I do karate. And my weakness, M&Ms. So if you guys want to get on my good side, if you got M&Ms around, that's always cool with me. It's hard to just have one handful. Okay, now I'm going to tell you about why I joined Toastmasters. And at the end, I'm going to tell you why you should have or why you joined Toastmasters. I was in the military, like I said, from 2014 to 18. And in 2015, I was on like an assignment called an honor guard assignment. And if you guys don't know what the honor guard is, that's when the military goes and buries a fallen service member, whether they're retired or active duty fallen service member. We present the colors at events like parades, and we also will fold flags for people at their retirement ceremonies. But the reason this is important is because one day we had two sergeants teaching us. They're both great. One guy, he could not get through a sentence without saying But the other guy, he spoke like a general. He was so smooth. It was like gliding on ice. He never said any filler words. And the funny thing is we actually, before I got to Toastmasters, we were counting the bad sergeant's ums and ahs. And if he went over 20 in a speech, the other guys would pay. And if he was under 20, we would pay. So we paid very close attention. We were doing the ah counter before that happened. So one day I went up and I asked the good sergeant, I was like, "Sir, how'd you learn how to talk so well?" He's like, "I joined Toastmasters." He's like, "Do you want to look like that guy in 10 years? I was like, "No." And so he's like, "All right, you better go." And when I went there, I was stationed in Vandenberg Air Force Base. It's in California. It's in between San Francisco and LA. And that little town that was by that base was called Lompoc. And they had the Lompoc Valley of Flowers Toastmasters. And they were one of the best clubs in California, surprisingly. Up until last year, they had been 9 times President's Distinguished. I know there's some great clubs here too. I just know that one because that's what I was part of. But I remember the first day I went in there, the vice president of public of membership literally put her arm around my shoulder and said, "Hey, welcome, come on in. Let's get you a seat. Let's get you an agenda. Let's get you some treats," because they had treats there. It was so welcoming, and everybody just came over and said hi. They had a really well-organized meeting, and that makes a big difference. And at the end, you know what they said? They asked me to join. Those are quality traits in a club. Now, I didn't just tell you this because it's my journey, but I want you to be able to tell your Toastmaster story, because we're all here because Toastmaster is helping us, right? It's helping us get to where we want to go personally or professionally. Now, we could give everybody a sheet of like Toastmasters has this many members, has done this many things, blah, 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 blah. But when you're able to tell people your story and how it's made a difference in your life, that's a big thing. So don't be afraid to have your own Toastmaster story. That's the first tip I have, because we get so much automation in email now. That little personalization makes a big difference. Okay, on to the second part. Vice President memberships and Vice President public relations. I see a few of them here. So a lot of people know for VPMs, we're going to talk about the differences and how they come together. So as the president of membership, your job is to promote the club and process of bringing members in and transforming them into members. Now, let's see, here we go. And then you initiate contact with the guests, help them feel welcome, and provide them with the information they need. And you're trying to constantly get an influx of people. So, in the online environment that we have here, I guess it's a little easy for everybody to kind of initiate contact. But when the meeting is going on, you should be the one that's talking to them in the chat or staying after the meeting, trying to get their contact information or answering any questions they have. So you're kind of the person that should be handling that. Now, if you got a few guests, that your VPPR or other people can help you out, but it's the vice president membership that should be the first person. All right, I gotta move this. So, and then the difference for VPPRs is you promote the club to the local community and notify the media of the club's existence benefits. So it's more of an outer spread, not an inward spread. You promote the club, you update web content, and safeguard the Toastmasters identity. and let the media know if anything in your club is happening. Does everybody kind of see the two parallels and differences? Okay. All right. So I am gonna let you guys speak. I'm gonna let 3 people speak. What do you think the difference is? Does anybody have an answer? You can go ahead.
Sorry, Troy, what was the question again? Can you repeat that? Sorry.
So what do you think the difference is between the vice president of membership and vice president of public relations?
I can take a stand with that.
Cool.
Vice President of Public Relations, they handle mostly the communications pieces of the club, whereas membership also handles members who have either found the club through, Find My Club, or might have been a referral from a member, or there's more to VPPR. They do more of the outreach and engagement portion, and membership is strictly helping out with the budgeting or the financial piece of the club, if I understood that correctly.
Yeah, thanks, Shalanta. Yeah, Vicky, I see your hand up. You can go ahead.
Sure. So when I consider sort of the way they work together, I see it as the VP of PR's role is to get the guests in the door, and then there's a bit of a handoff with the VP of membership to help bring them into the club.
Yeah, that's really great. Thank you, Vicky.
Sure.
We have the great Ravi Rai. You're up, sir.
All right. So the way I'm very close to what Vicky just mentioned, that just getting to the club is VPPR, but after the guest has appeared, to convert them into member is somewhere VP of membership takes over. So one person outside, the other person inside. In order to be outside, the website, the social media, all those are part of VPPR. That's how I envision it.
Thank you very much, Ravi. Yes, so we're gonna go right here. Thank you guys for your responses. So you guys were hitting it right on the mark. The VPMs focus on internal club building and actions. They're the ones that handle things on the inside. So some examples of that would be, the vice president of public relations. Gosh, I don't know how many times I'm going to screw that up. Vice president of membership organizes an open house or holiday party. They're the ones that are basically set in charge of that. I mean, it's directed by the president, but if you guys have, I don't know, Christmas, Valentine's Day, 4th of July party, any kind of party, you could do a Western party, any type of party that you want. They're the ones that organize that and get them people in place to help make that happen. Or an open house, they're the ones that organize that. And when we meet in person or hybrid or community, they're the ones that are gonna set that up. They like we talked about, they greet the new members, record their contact information. That's a huge thing. You guys should never, ever, ever let anybody walk away, or digitally or in person, without getting their contact info, because if you do that, you let them walk away, there's a good chance they'll never come back. But we can nudge them, we can bug them a little bit if we have their information. New member packet. Some clubs do this, some clubs don't. What it is, a lot of people say that, sometimes pathways can be kind of overwhelming because you got to log in, you got to get into pathways. But the VPM could create a new member packet where at my old club, we would have a waterfall. You go talk to the president, they greet you, they talk, and then you go to the vice president of public or vice president of education, and they kind of give you a breakdown of pathways. And then you go all the way down the list, like membership, like decorum, vice president of public relations, letting them or get them helping you get to their social medias and their website, make sure that you talk to the treasurer, get all that stuff. That's something that helps out a lot. It's like a waterfall checklist. Not required, but it's nice for a new guest. So that's some things that VPMs do. So VPPRs focus on external club building, kind of like what you guys were saying. And this would be marketing that open house at a holiday party, whether it's on social media or setting up billboards or helping spread the word in your company. This is what their job is. They're also the stalwarts of the brand. we're going to talk more about the brand later, but they protect the brand when you're using it in marketing or using it on your agenda. Anything that has that Toastmaster logo, they're the ones that should be protecting that. And like I said, contacting local official news outlets. If you, at my old club, one time we actually invited the chief of police to our one of our meetings. That was really cool, and he came. I was the one that got him there. So that's the person that should be the liaison between the public and the private. So just letting you know that these two are tied at the link, at the hip, but they focus on different things, but they're both moving in the same direction. I hope that makes sense. Okay, we're talking about protecting the brand. And I'm going to open the floor up again. I just want to, we'll go one at a time. Can anybody tell me what's wrong with that picture? You can just shout it out.
It's not the official logo.
What's wrong with it, Jolana?
The Toastmasters branded material, they've got their own logos that are available on the website. And this looks off. The Toastmasters International looks off.
Yeah.
It's missing the latitude, longitude lines on the globe.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. So how about this one? What's wrong with this one?
Green is not a sanctioned color.
That's true. That's right. The logo is fine. It's just that watermelon green is not a Toastmaster color. How about this one?
It's the wrong color.
Yeah, the colors have been
Yeah.
changed. So I mean that how it is right now. I mean that maroon and the blue are good, but it's not the branded approved version of our logo, right? Now, why I wanted to bring this up is not you guys, but I have seen clubs in the past where they try to change the logo somehow, and that's not authorized in Toastmasters. That logo and that wording has to always stay the same, because it'd be like going to McDonald's and it be, I don't know, like an orange arches or blue arches or purple arches. You kind of be like, is that McDonald's or not? I might still go inside either way, but you know, you want to keep the brand official. Your club can be unique in its own way, but it should also feel like every other club, or at least have the same kind of feel, right? And that starts with the brand. So let's talk about that. The logo is the integral piece to the visual identity. It's what connects all of our clubs together. Now, some clubs do things a little differently. They have different awards, all that kind of fun stuff. But at the end of the day, you should be able to go to any club in the world and be like, that was a Toastmaster meeting. And this helps deliver our consistent experience and in our diverse and unique clubs while improving the brand recall, kind of what I basically just said before. And you want to make sure that you follow the brand guidelines, which is found in the brand manual. Any vice president of public relations should definitely read that thing. There's more information in that than I can give in a presentation, but there's going to be a link in there. I highly recommend VPPRs and any officer read that, because there's a lot of good information in there. For example, did you guys know that these are the only fonts that are authorized to use while promoting the Toastmaster brand logo? You can use Myriad Pro, Source Sans Pro, Arial, Montserrat, and Gotham. That's from the brand manual. Any other fonts should not be used with the Toastmaster logo or when you're promoting your clubs. The logo placement, it should only be, according to the brand manual, I'm doing it over here, in the upper left-hand corner or the lower right corner. That's just what they've prescribed as the authorized places. Not saying that it can't be in other places, but the two places that you should focus on are right here, unless you have like a flyer with your thing down here, but the logo should only be in these two places. And pictures, we're going to get into pictures too. Can I have let's see, I'm gonna pick somebody. I like picking people, not picking on people. Let's see. Mary, would you mind reading this? Is that okay? Mary Adams?
Okay, I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
The images and photographs. The photograph style should reflect the Toastmaster environment where people look engaged, empowered, and supported as portrayed in meeting, presentations, speeches, network events, conference, training events, and speech contests. Stay away from images that do not connect to Toastmasters, like my background. Toastmaster environments such as mainly or solely portraying landscape, animals, children, food appliance, medicine, and others. Do not use cartoons. Illustrations, equip art, and material creators of clubs, area, division, district, and research. Always make sure you have permission to use and or reproduce any image and pictures utilized in your design. Image protected by the trademark and copyright should never be used.
All right. So thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
This is straight from the brand manual. So whenever you guys are marketing your club, you want to make sure that you keep that in mind. And I'll give you some examples here. So these are all pictures that you can get off the brand portal. I'm going to include a link for that. But you see that these pictures, like in the top where the guy's got the mic, that feels like a club, right? Or the one on the upper right where the woman and the man are, that's very much a club environment. Or even in the bottom right where it's more of a work environment kind of look. But even the bottom two where it's just kind of a professional uplifting vibe, these are all pictures that are available on Toastmasters that you can download and use for free. No problem. But I am going to ask, can somebody tell me what's wrong with this? You can just go right ahead.
Yeah. That's from a playground. It's images of children and nothing about the meeting or club or professional environments.
Yeah, thank you,
Yep.
Paul.
And also the placement of the logo.
Well, the logo can be in the lower right corner or the upper left. But like Paul said, I love playgrounds, but it's not where you're going to have a Toastmaster meeting, right? So it just wouldn't be appropriate to put it there. We got any CrossFitters in here? Any people do CrossFit? Eric, tell me what's wrong with this?
And again, you're not going to have a Toastmaster meeting while you're exercising and working out.
I mean, that would be impressive, right?
Right, exactly. I want to see you give me your table topic answer.
The lead trainer here, she's probably in Toastmasters, but yeah, like Mary said, you're not going to have a Toastmaster club at a gym, most likely. And then last one here, anybody know what's wrong with that?
I don't think you have a Toastmaster meeting at Sturgis.
Yeah,
That's what it looks like.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, he could be thinking about his speech on his motorcycle, right? But he's probably not giving any speeches while he's there. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so we're going to marketing tips, and yeah, I had to put a meme in there. Marketing is easy. All right, so I just want to let you guys know that you're not alone if you think marketing is difficult. It's not easy, and I am going to actually show you what a Facebook and Instagram ad looks like. I'm going to actually go into one that we have active right now, just so you guys can kind of see what that's like. And I'm going to talk about a friends list. Okay, I'm going to stop my screen first. Actually, I can just share it right onto here. Here, actually, I'm going to stop my screen share for a second and go into the Facebook ad that I have pulled up. Okay, here we go. Okay. You guys see that? Okay. So a lot of you VPPRs and maybe even VPPMs are on your, if you have a Facebook, that's great. You don't have to have one, but it's kind of nice to be able to have a place where you can talk besides email. And if you guys are trying to advertise your club, Facebook and Instagram do offer a pretty cheap way of doing so. It's going to be able to target your preferred demographic. And I know this may not apply to corporate clubs. You're kind of tied to, most of the time, your corporate people. But if you're an open club, this can really help bring in some new people. So I'm going to show you our 2021 campaign. So just letting you know, before you do ads on Facebook, you have to have a public page. You can't have a group page. And you have to be an administrator on that group page, or else Facebook won't connect the dots. So let's go in here. I'm going to show you what it's like. So you would create a new campaign. All right. This is pretty much how it's going to be. So it'll pop up like this, and you can name it whatever you want. And then you don't have to worry about this because Toastmasters is nonprofit. You don't have to declare anything. Usually auction is fine. I always try to select traffic here. You're trying to get traffic. For you guys, for your club, it would probably be best to just send them to your club website because you're trying to get them to your club. And then you'd hit next down here, and it's going to take you to this screen. And then you'd set the ad name again, and then you get to choose where you want your people to go. And we're going to choose the website. And then down here, you can set a budget. For your first ad, I would probably recommend just maybe 20 bucks and see if it's, if people are getting clicks to it at all. That's not a lot of money. But if you can go $20 to $50. That's not a lot for marketing, and you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. So you can set the schedule. So you can say, okay, we're going to have it Monday. We're going to start it on Monday. We're going to end it on Friday. At the time and at the time you want it to start and stop. So the audience, this, like say you live in Edina, you wouldn't have to put all these cities, right? You would just put Edina, and then it's going to put a circle around Edina around 25 miles. So it's going to advertise to people in your vicinity. That's where you want it to be. Age, you can go as high as you want. We got to start at 18 because Toastmasters, you have to be 18 to join, but you can go all the way up to 100 if you want. Big thing though, you want to exclude interests like Toastmasters International or Toastmasters. Does anybody have an idea why?
Branded.
I'm sorry?
Because they're branded, trademarked. Is that correct?
No, it's more of, if somebody already likes Toastmasters or Toastmasters International, they probably are in a club, right? So we want to target people that don't know anything about Toastmasters. But thank you for volunteering, Nancy. I appreciate that. So that's a big thing, because if you're on Facebook and you already like Toastmasters, you might be getting these ads and it's like, well, I'm already a member of Toastmasters, that hurts your dollars because, well, it doesn't really hurt if they don't click it. If they click it, then, you're preaching to the choir basically. But you want to get as many interests that are keen to your club. So, but anybody that's in a speaking profession, I've tried to put in here. And when you do that, it actually refines who you're searching for a lot better. So you can see we got mentorship, sales, property, digital marketing, fashion, high school or college grad, nursing, people that are around people a lot, even people that aren't around people a lot, right? Maybe somebody that's just on a computer a lot, web development, they still need to be able to communicate and learn leadership in a way that it's going to help them elevate themselves. And if you want this list, I can send it to you. Just let me know after the meeting and I can do that. But you can play around with this and you'll see later down here. just, yeah, better to keep it automatic. Let Facebook kind of, hit people instead of you choosing where to show your ads. And then it will show you the reach per day. This won't be 2 to 6K because we have a bigger budget, but it could be a couple hundred people a day, and you could get 15 to 20 clicks. That's pretty big for only a $20 ad. And then you'd hit the next here. And so this is where you would link your Facebook page. And you guys don't have to have an Instagram account, but it's kind of cool if you get one, because that's more of the teen to mid to late 30s crowd. Everybody's on Facebook, but younger people tend to be more on there. So if that's the demographic you're targeting, you probably want to get an Instagram account and link it to the Facebook page. It's pretty easy to do. You just set up the Instagram account, and then it'll ask you here to link it. It's kind of it'll take you through that. Just let me know if you have any questions with that, and I can help you out with that. So let's see. We'll go down here. I just uploaded this video. I'll show you this video in a second. The reason I like videos is just they're kind of engaging. An image will work too, but in 30 seconds, you can cram a lot more information than you can for just one image. But you can do multiple, like a carousel of images or videos, whatever you guys want. And you can see that Facebook and Instagram, it's going to be in 14 placements. So it's going to be all over the place, which is pretty cool. And Facebook is going to do this automatically for you. Yes, Robbie?
So I have a question. Do you recommend we create our own videos, or we can borrow one of these videos from Toastmaster International?
Well, it's kind of up to you guys. Like, I'm going to show you this video, and if you guys want, I can custom tailor this video to your club. Thanks for asking that, Robbie. So we can have this video, but it'll have your contact information at the end, or you can create your own, or you can use one from Toastmasters International. But the reason I like this video is I'm using a program called Animoto, and we can totally custom tailor this. I didn't shoot any of this. This was pre-loaded footage in the program, and you can create like all sorts of wording on there and everything. But it's whatever you guys want to do. You can experiment, see what's working for you, see what's getting you clicks. And like I said, I'm going to show you this video at the end with the sound on. You want to make sure you can see here that your text kind of is welcoming, come sharpen your communication and leadership skills in a safe and supportive environment. Make sure it's solving one of their problems. Say, saying our club is awesome, da 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 da. It's like, well, how is that solving my communication and leadership problem, right? That kind of lets them know exactly what you're about. This is just the district motto. And then at the bottom, I put, click here to see how Toastmaster can take your personal and professional communication and leadership skills to the next level. Just gets them interested. And you hit a website here, and then you would put in your club's URL right here, and you can preview it. It'll send you, to your URL. Good thing to check before you put money on this. And then your call to action should just be learn more, because we're not selling anything except awesomeness. Don't need to worry about this too much, but I'm going to show you the video real quick. Simple enough, gets the message across. And like I said, if you want that video, I can edit it with your club's information. Just send me an email. I'll give you my email at the end. All right, cool. And I did have LinkedIn set up, but it's not as easy to get in here to show you guys, but it's pretty much exactly the same as setting this up. Very simple. You just also have to have a public club account to promote it. So we're going to go back to the PowerPoint. So that's just kind of a preview of how to do a club ad. That's going to give you a lot of eyeballs in the community. Probably wouldn't be a lot. I mean, it's the easiest way to do it, in my opinion. Now, second thing I want to talk about, Friends. Not the show, but I know a lot of people are probably Friends fans. But one tip I like to give people is to ask your club as a vice president of public relations or vice president of management. I tell you guys, I promise I'm going to get this right at the end. Vice president of membership is you should get them to all write down a list of 5 to 10 people that they know that aren't in Toastmasters or not in your club. And you should invite them. You should ask them to say, I want you to invite one of your guests every week. And you can even make a contest out of it. You say the first person to invite 3 people gets a gift card or gets this or gets that. Something, make it fun. But you don't have to make a contest with it. But if you guys ask them to write down 5 to 10 people that they know, whether it's a community club or a corporate club, and try to get them to bring them. If you have 10 people in your club and they each bring 5 people, that's 50 guests, right? You hit 10 of those people, or 10% of those people, you convert them to members, you've reached your DCP goal. That's another way of getting people in the door. You want people that fit in your club, but there's no problem if you have a husband, wife, brother, sister, boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, acquaintance, friend, doesn't matter. If they're not in Toastmasters, have them come to the club. You know, it's a really great way. I always think that the best marketing is face-to-face or person-to-person, somebody that you know, because they're coming with credibility and authority that you trust. That's one tip I have. But we're going to keep moving on here. Give you some resources. Let the world know publicity handbook. Does anybody know what this one is about? You can just shout it out if you do. Okay, so this one is if you're trying to write a press release or you're wondering how to talk to the media or you're wondering to talk to companies or anything, this is a guide that lets you know the Toastmaster way to do that. You can do a sample news release. This is for if you want to put something in an ad or like a newspaper, like say your president wants your city to know that they just got to be president of your club. That's going to help you guys write that. This is VPPR responsibilities. This is just a link that lets you kind of dive into more about what VPPRs can do. The brand portal, that's very important. That's where you're going to find the logos that you can use, you know, both JPEG and PNG. And you're also going to find banners for your Facebook club. You're going to find banners for your LinkedIn wall. You're going to find, that's where you're going to find the pictures that I showed you, those authorized pictures that look really nice. They're going to be there. This club officer roles online, it's a little bit different than the leadership handbook. It's a little bit smaller if you want a more condensed version. Obviously, gotta recommend the club leadership handbook. I think you guys, everybody from president all the way down to sergeant at arms, everybody should read that book if you guys have not, because that's going to tell you everybody's role, but it's also going to tell you how to lead your club effectively. It's a really, really great PDF. Successful Club Series, it's from the Legacy program. It doesn't count necessarily towards your pathways goals, but these are fun speeches to give. It's kind of in the name, Successful Club Series. It talks about how to create a good club. They're usually around 10 to 15 minute speeches. It could be longer, could be shorter, but these are really great if you as vice president of membership or vice president of public relations just gives one of these speeches every now and then. You click on that link and you download them and you'll be able to choose the speech that you want to give. They're really cool. Leadership Excellence Series, again, a legacy product, but something that's really nice to use. This talks just about club leadership and leadership in general. These are really great. These ones can be a little bit longer, but they're definitely worth the effort to try it to the club. These two series, when clubs hear them, you can definitely see that they get a lot of value out of each one. You should check them out. Club officer tools, that's going to give you a whole bunch of things that you can do as club officers. And definitely check out the Toastmasters YouTube channel. A lot of great tips there. We're almost done, guys. Thank you for hanging on. All right, my golden rule, dun, 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 dun. The thing is we can get all these guests into the club, right? We can do everything. We can bring them in. We can give them cookies and donuts and coffee. They could say it was great. But if you don't ask them to join when they come, the likelihood of them coming back is very low. I can't tell you guys how many clubs I've been to, not just as PRM, but just as a Toastmaster member, as a guest, and they haven't asked me to join. That's a big problem, guys. Even if the international president of Toastmasters came to your meeting and was just visiting, you should ask her to join. The reason is you want to get in the habit of asking every guest to join. Don't let any guest leave a meeting without asking them to join. I know a lot of us are Minnesota nice, don't want to come off pushy, but there's a good way to do it. The president at the end, when they're doing their closing announcements, they should say, "Oh, hey, John, what'd you think of the meeting?" And then they tell you what they think. And they said, "Well, John, it seems like you had a really great time, got a really good vibe. We'd love for you to join. Is there any reason you wouldn't like to join?" And they're going to think, "No, there's no reason I wouldn't want to join." Well, let's sign you up, and then that's when you, the VPM, take them to the side and get their contact information. But even if they're not ready to join right that day, they should always give you their contact info, and you should leave them with a membership packet via email or in person. That's my golden rule. And I did have another thing. I just want to say, I know in the current environment of COVID, we've kind of been limited to online or hybrid. I just think that it's nothing that the district is ever going to push on you. This is always going to be a personal and club decision. I just want to say, though, that as we move forward into 2021 and 2022, you might want to think about going back to in-person meetings. And that could be hybrid or fully back in person. But I think that Toastmasters really shines when it's in person. It's not to say it can't be done online, but I personally like the in-person experience better. You're able to rub elbows with people. You're able to get feedback in a much better manner. It just feels more like an event. While when we're doing this, it's kind of like a webinar, right? You can do that. It's kind of anywhere. Now, like I said, I'm going to repeat this. It's always going to be up to you and your club. The district will never come in and bully you into that. Just something to think about, something to bring to your president, your vice president of education, your fellow officers. And, social distancing, masks, if people want to wear masks. My thing is if you can go to Target or you can go to Cub Foods to get your things, you should be able to go back to the club. If we don't go back to the club, Toastmasters might hurt in the long run. And I know, and it's going to be a personal decision, just something to think about, something for you at the local level to think about. That's all I'm going to say. So as we close here, you can stay if you want, or if you have to go, you've got to go. But I'm going to turn off the screen share and we're going to go to questions. So thank you guys very much. And if you have any questions, you can just raise your hand and I will call on you. Okay. Yes, we have Area Director 51, Celeste.
Hello, thank you. This has been really interesting. I just had a question about the fonts.
Yeah.
So are you saying that anytime you use that logo, whether it's in some physical billboard or if you use it Like last year, we did some invites to an open house. If you have the logo, you need to use one of those 5 fonts, or
Yeah,
I think I
so,
missed that.
yeah, thanks, Celeste. So according to the brand manual, you should only be using the Toastmasters approved fonts. And the reason, it's just the same thing as like when I showed you the brand logo. Like we want it to have a similar feel. So if you have like, this crazy calligraphy, that people are like, is that Toastmasters? So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. It's been really interesting, by the way.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
thank you. Thank you. Next up, we got Robbie.
Yes, Troy, great job in sharing information, important as well as something new. So the question I have is with regards to LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Is it the same format as Facebook? I mean, in terms of money that we can set $20, $50 to reach to an audience, or is it a whole new, you have to buy different kinds of ads? So just wanted to hear from you or other people who have had experience advertising in LinkedIn.
So yeah, thanks, Robbie. I just started our district-wide LinkedIn campaign. And LinkedIn, I've heard from the region advisors and the Region 4 Public Relations Manager that is where the gold is, because Facebook and Instagram, people kind of go on there for anything, right? But LinkedIn, that's where people go specifically for development. They're going there to professionally develop. They're going there to professionally network. So I've noticed that the cost per click is higher on LinkedIn, but it's maybe because you're getting a higher quality person that comes to your site. The Facebook ad that I showed you guys is very similar to how you do it on LinkedIn. I would definitely recommend playing around with both. You don't have to throw $100 in right away. I know many clubs don't have that kind of budget. But if, whatever budget you guys have to market, I would start out with $20 on both. And if you're getting clicks, great. If not, we can go back to the drawing board, and I can always help you make that ad too. So thanks, Robbie.
Thank you, Troy.
Okay, we got Carolyn.
Yes, great session. Thank you.
Mhm.
Wondering about the website. So the free Toast host
Mhm.
templates available on Toastmasters International, and tying those to social media.
Mhm.
And also, I know that these templates have been around for ages. I'm not sure if they have been refreshed or updated. That would be great to do that, and to tie the social media icons at the bottom of the website. So I'm just wondering if you have any insight to that.
I think Robbie and a few other people could clarify, but and Jolanta, she is the webmaster. I believe Toastmasters is supporting, what is it called? WordPress. But the Toastmasters does have the free Toast host. That is a little bit more older. But if you look at the District 6 website, they're using the WordPress.
Okay.
And I'm not familiar with how to work that personally, but you can reach out to the webmaster, Julie Bain, or you can reach out to one of the trio or me, and I can get you that information, because WordPress looks beautiful.
Yes, one of the things we're having difficulties is the website we're using for our corporate club is pretty old. And so I think one of the best ways for us to improve not just member experience, but also getting a lot of other corporate members to want to participate is to just spruce up the website. So I'd be very interested to see what that new template looks like.
Yeah, the WordPress is very beautiful. Like I said, if you go to d6tm.org, that's in WordPress. And like I said, I unfortunately don't have any experience in building those sites, but I remember our previous district director, Susan Rajbandari, he really tackled the new District 6 website, and it looks great. Thank you, Jolanta. But like I said, oh yes, Robbie. Oh, and did you help Robbie?
I had a comment actually. Here is my recommendation for the club, which is, I believe right now it is a corporate club and it has an internal website. To go to WordPress, I would recommend go to Free Toast Host because the club already has, it can get an account there. And if you want, we can spend about half an hour and set up a site for you. So get your feet wet with that one. There are some advantages and disadvantages. With WordPress, you cannot have the agenda settings, the what should I call it, the membership management. That doesn't give that. It does give you a unique look. I have done both WordPress and FreeToast host. And then you have to also find somebody who has to manage the WordPress site. Like you have to find a Susan Rajbhandari, Julie Bain, or another person. But with FreeToast host, people can get started very quickly. You require no knowledge of website development or any content management system. So I would recommend, if you do not have a site, we can set you up within, it takes about 1 day for somebody at FreeToast host to create a site for you. And then we can look at one of the websites for all the members who are listed here. We can borrow content from there, which I call as copy paste, and then do something good. So that was my comment to you, Troy, that yes, we have plenty of resources within here in this group and within District 6 to get you one started right away.
Thank you, Robbie. So yeah, Carolyn, I definitely think the FreeToast host is probably the easiest way, and it's going to give you, it's super easy to set up.
Thank you.
I had a question too. On a year ago, I believe I looked at WordPress for our club and did some investigation, and it seemed like you needed to invest some money in having a hosting server for it to run on, which might be a little bit of an investment for a club as well. And if anybody ever had any information on inexpensive ways to do that, that would be great information to share. But so far, we stayed with FreeToast host. Just simple.
So right now, yeah, and may I comment on that, Troy?
Sure, go ahead.
You can go really wide in having your own domain name, or if you have somebody in your club who owns a company, for example, they may be able to just buy you the domain name. Or with District 6, if you can plead, beg Deb Lou or try Dukart, they can give you a subdomain actually. It is a little complicated. I can work behind the scenes, but here is the thing. You have to decide how much money you want to invest. But remember one thing, the key is not the money here. You can get a hosting account for $45 or $50 per year, and a domain name for another $15 per year. I mean, my home club, wordmasters.org, has a domain name, and we have our own hosting site. But I have my own private hosting company, so I have donated that site to a couple of my clubs. However, the key here is that I then am in charge of maintaining the website, and that becomes a burden for your club. FreeToast host, on the other hand, everything is set up. You can do this thing. So you have to decide, do you want to have a unique look? Because all FreeToast host sites look the same. Content are different. It depends on you. Or WordPress will give you that ability to have a very unique looking website and puts the burden of maintaining on your shoulders. So think about those questions, and then we can definitely find ways to improve or get some questions answered for you.
Thank you, Robbie. And so, yeah, like I said, if you guys don't have FreeToast host, you can reach out to the district, and we can definitely help you out with that. Does anybody have any other questions?
I have a question, Troy.
Sure.
Can you talk a little bit about blogging and the benefits of how you can create newsletters to be hashtag friendly and to get found online quicker?
Sure. Thanks, Chalana. So for me in the district, as the public relations manager, I'm responsible for directing and creating content to help get our word out. And a few of you guys, I see a few guys in the comments saying search engine optimization. And what that is just putting out content that hits high in Google's search algorithms that gets people to your website. And like you said, blogging can help. It can be done on a Facebook page, it can be done on a personal page, and it can be about anything, just as long as it's Toastmaster friendly. That's great. That's free search engine optimization. We put out stuff on our Instagram, our LinkedIn, our Facebook, just like inspirational pictures or, events going on. That all helps too. The hashtag use, that's another free thing. I mean, I know many years ago it was a lot more powerful than it is now, but they're still good to use because there's what, 3+ billion people on the internet. There's a lot of bored people on the internet, so don't ever underestimate the internet, right? You put a hashtag Toastmasters in there, it might pop up on their feed, and then boom, they're at your club. So your hashtag limit is around 30. I think it's 30 on most platforms. You don't have to go that crazy, but definitely include a few that are relevant to your club, like Toastmasters, Toastmasters International. Say you're part of Dan Patch, Toastmasters, Dan Patch, Toastmasters, things like that. It adds up. Hope that answered your question, Jelena.
So try for those of us who are Instagram agnostic, or we have no knowledge about Instagram, what is it?
Thanks, Robbie. So, well, Instagram came out in 2010. It's just mainly a picture and video platform. It's not as, I don't want to say invasive as Toastmasters, but it's more, it's more just presenting, right? You don't have to put your contact info in there or where you're from, all that. But it's more, anybody can be on it. It's just mainly like the teens to late 30s that are kind of that main crowd. And if you're looking for some newer blood, like the younger blood, that's a good place to go. Yeah, Jolanta's got Toastmasters International Instagram. But it's just another platform to reach out on, because I know for me personally, I don't use Facebook. I just use Instagram. And that's a really good place to advertise to, because there's a lot of young professionals on there. Yep. A lot of young people on there. So it's all I'll say is it's addicting, and you want to be careful with it. It's not as addicting as TikTok, but TikTok is more for young people.
So if we want, you mentioned something about District 6 Instagram. So some of us would love to see what Troy is up to. How do we get to Instagram on District 6?
Oh, okay. Yeah, here. I can look it up. I'll look it up here. I'll show you guys.
And Jolanta mentioned that Twitter is another feed. Oh boy. Some of us who
Okay, let me pull up D6 Instagram here.
Of course, my work site blocks Instagrams.
Oh, it does?
This is corporate policies. Many corporations will block Google Docs, Instagram, and so many other. In fact, I don't have Zoom, so I'm using the browser version to connect to your webinar.
That's good security though, Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm an IT supervisor. I know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah, you know all about the security. So if you guys are on Instagram, it'd be awesome if you guys could follow us at D6 Toastmasters. So it's just you could search for D6 Toastmasters, and we have all of our posts up here, and you can see it's just all Toastmaster related. You can click on it. This is our latest podcast. We had Dr. Whitney Prude. She was from Faith Toastmasters, or Faithfully Speaking. You can view that on our YouTube. So whatever you guys want to put on here, like, these quote pictures are pretty cool. Leaders or storytellers. And all these, like this picture, I got off the brand portal, and then I just created it in Canva. If you guys are familiar with Canva, you can, I believe they have a free version, but it might have a watermark on there. But definitely something to think about investing in. It's just an online, I want to say, picture editor, and it's super easy to use. It's not like difficult like Photoshop. Anybody could get in there. It's really great. Well, yeah, we do some district announcements. But the thing I like about the clubs is they put a lot of personal stuff on here. So they'll throw up their members, they'll throw up stories of their members. And that kind of adds a lot of personality to it, right? So it's just kind of just what ours looks like right now. And we have all of our links right here. We'll see where this goes. So you can do find a club, visit our website, or you can learn about Toastmasters, and then there's all of our social media stuff. It's pretty cool.
Troy, do you know if there's a club in the district that's doing like their own page on like Instagram or LinkedIn really well, or they've got a very strong social media presence to maybe go look at some examples or kind of see what they're doing?
Mm-hmm. Ours wasn't strong? No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe more from like an individual, like if they're doing, like you said, the members, like they're calling out individual members or like parties, or just seeing some of those specific examples that like a club may post versus like the district level.
Sure.
But yes, you had a great Instagram and
Okay.
LinkedIn.
I'm just teasing. No, you're right. There are some clubs, like if you look at our following list or our followers, there'll be clubs, there'll be areas, and they do really good job. Because like you probably saw, ours was just more of like just a generic, but when you get to the club or even area or even division levels, sometimes they're going to feature members more. So and I'll bring this back up. I'll bring this back up. I hope I didn't exit it out. Yeah, okay, because I'll show you. So let's see. Oh, actually, I'll go to the following. So let's see. So you can see like we're following other districts, and when you go to their their pages, you can kind of see who they're following. And this is going to have districts. It's going to have clubs in there. Like, let's take a look at this one. So you can see this one's a little bit more personal. Like this one's featuring one of their members. It talks about what they're doing. So you got to do a little bit of exploring, kind of see what works best for you. And oh, this is, I guess, in India. So, but you can see like this one. This is kind of like they're showcasing their club officers. That's really cool. So you get a few ideas just by looking at who people are following, right? So hope that helps. Let's see. Go back. But yeah, I think a really good district that I like is District 42. I'm gonna try to find them.
Oh, those crazy Indians.
So the Region 4 Public Relations Manager is part of this one, and this one's in Canada. I think they do a really good job. So you can see like they do holidays, Canadian holiday, but I think later more down here they have, before they had like these. That's really great. So you could do like club officer trainings, and you're going to be hosting them or whatever, keynotes. Like, yeah, these guys, I get a lot of, yeah, Marcy, she's the Region 4 Public Relations Manager. She's kind of like my mentor.
So Troy, are these images that you kind of develop in Canva and then use Instagram to post them, and same images can be used on any social media?
Yes. Yeah, I usually try to just make them Instagram friendly, because Facebook and LinkedIn can handle the Instagram post, but if you try to put a 16:9 post on Instagram, it kind of gets squished. So yeah, we make, these, I know that they made these in Canva, and they just uploaded the picture. They have a program that gets rid of the background, so that's kind of cheating on their part, but you can make something like this pretty easily.
Well, you are definitely setting the bar high for us by showing these cool images and cool pictures. I have always wondered how they create all these things.
Oh yeah, like this one. Yeah, this is like a generic, what do we call it, template, and then they just added Toastmaster colors. And then they added this, which is pretty cool.
Troy, I was going to comment on your Canva remark.
Mhm.
You can also remove backgrounds in Canva as well if you, I think you have to pay for the pro version to get that watermark removed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like there are certain things where I think you remove the transparent background. Yeah, that's right. But these guys do a really good job because it's very personal, right? These people are part of that district. You can see that they're being highlighted there. That's really cool. But they also have a lot of this kind of stuff, just these cool quotes, and I like that. So you can always check out District 42. They're doing it really good. But does anybody have any other questions?
What about, Troy, what about like using your local, I'm just thinking about good old grassroots type marketing and outreach here, but using your local chamber of commerce or maybe a Rotary, some other free resources, just in case there's not a lot of people who are really tech savvy, but want to communicate with other local community members. What are some good resources for that?
We got any Starbucks or Caribou fans in here? Yeah, pretty much. So you guys been in there and you know that every one of those has a community board, right? Pretty much every Caribou and Starbucks has a community board. Oh, thanks, Mary. Thanks for coming. What those are is like you go up to them and say you have like a paper and you say, hey, can I put this on your community board? They check it out, they say it's okay, and then you can put it on there. A lot of people will go to these places and they'll look for things going on in the community. They could be selling something, or it can just be a group thing. And if you're a community club, these are very effective. I think that's one place to put them. And you could just create a little flyer, get the people to okay it, and that's a ton of free advertising. People love going to coffee shops. I've obviously when COVID was going on, they kind of shut down, but now they're back. And it's a really good way to get in the community. And like Jolanta said, places like the Chamber of Commerce, that's where people go to find new personal development courses. You can put them at like Normandale or community college around you. I mean, that's really going above and beyond. I think that the Starbucks and the Caribous of the world are really great because that they're easy to get to and they're very low barrier. Thanks, Robbie. Thank you. I think they're a very good way to get your word out in the community. Or a library. I don't know if libraries are closed or not right now, but
most libraries are open again.
Oh, good. That's good to hear. So yeah, they're a great question. Thank you, Jolanta.
Thanks, Troy.
Does anybody else have any other questions? Yeah, Vicky.
Sure. Looking for your input. I've read through the branding manual and things, and I happen to be in District 106's PR club, and we've had some guest speakers from around the world, actually. And something that, to me, now that the club's been in place for almost a year, something that really just seems to keep coming up again and again from people when they're saying, you have to stop talking Toastmasters jargon if you want to attract new people. If you want to attract Toastmasters, which our club attracts Toastmasters because we're looking to help Toastmasters, but of course we're looking to help other Toastmasters clubs to attract new members, is that all of us we're indoctrinated and we talk Toastmasters and we advertise Toastmasters. And if a person doesn't know what Toastmasters is, they're not going to pay attention, and that we need to start talking in terms of benefits for people. And so I'm trying to figure out how I reconcile that in terms of promotion and advertising for my community club, is it's easy to use the branding, the colors and whatnot. And now that I know about the fonts, I'll use the right fonts all the time. But in the trying to put that message across. Are you going to a job interview and you need help? Are you going to do a toast at a wedding? Are you interested in giving a better presentation at work? And then just have the Toastmasters logo in the bottom corner instead of saying, come to our Toastmasters club. And then people say, ooh, is that a cult? I mean, because they don't know. How do you reconcile the doing what I keep hearing over and over again from these experts, which is you have to advertise benefits and quit in telling people to come to your Toastmasters open house, because that's why you get maybe one guest.
Yeah.
Can you help on that?
Yeah, thank you, Vicky. Yeah, I've heard of that club. I'll have to stop by one of these days. You're right. You want to solve problems. You don't want to say, we got over 300,000 members. We're global, ... They don't care. They got problems, right? It's kind of like when you're going to Menards, you're not going to Menards to save big money, right? You're going there because you need a hammer. You need a hammer because you need to fix your home. So yeah, in your branding, like if you just have a flyer, you can say, kind of like in that video, like, are you looking to be a better communicator and public speaker? Are you looking for a safe place to practice that? Well, come check out our meeting. We meet every blah blah at blah blah. Yeah, the problem solving. That's what they say at every public relations manager thing we have, is we want to solve problems. We don't want to pitch everything, because people get ads all the time. But the things that get people to buy stuff or go to things is when they're solving problems. Like when you go to a self-help development, like a Grant Cardone or a Tony Robbins thing, you're not necessarily going there to see those guys. You're going there because you're trying to get value or solve a problem you have. So we want to focus on solving their public relations and really communication. We want to solve their communications issues, or we want to help them build up their leadership. Because what a lot of people don't realize too is, for a lot of people professionally, getting that leadership experience when you're on your promotion board, that's a big thing. So you could say, going up for a promotion board, come check out how Toastmasters can bolster your leadership. For communication, do you need to speak to, be able to speak to large communities? And then when you're at the local level, one of the big things that helped me was, I remember one time I was at a club and they said, well, sometimes our boss comes in and we have 5 minutes to give a sales presentation for the quarter to our vice presidents, and it's very intimidating. And I say, well, a lot of our speeches are 5 minutes, so you're going to get used to speaking in 5 minutes. It has to also be individualistic. So you have the broader stuff to get them in the club, but then when they get there, you get to know them and then kind of relate how Toastmaster can help them. I hope that helps. Is that good, Vicky? Yeah, so you're saying it's okay if I advertise not Toastmasters open house, but instead learn to improve your interview skills, create elevator pitch speeches, become a better manager through active listening skills or something like that, and do that kind of event. And I'll put the Toastmasters logo in the corner, but I don't have to say Toastmasters open house. I mean, it'd be good to have like your club name, and then maybe, of course, yeah. And then maybe like your contact information or somebody's contact information, and then the meeting information. And but yeah, you don't have to like plaster it with Toastmasters at the top or anything. But if you make something, you can always send it to me, and I can give you some feedback on it, and we can talk about it. So I'm going to leave my email. Whoops. In the chat here right now, just in case nobody doesn't, or you guys are wondering about it. Thank you. Let's see.
Vicki, I have similar concerns that sometimes we do feel a little cultish because we have our routines that are ancient almost. just having a position called Sergeant at Arms.
Mhm.
The only other organization I know that does that are political parties, and they have very strict rules in how they do business.
Mhm.
And literally the Sergeant at Arms in a political party decides who to let in the room. But so Toastmasters needs to develop a little more flexibility, I think, if it's going to attract more young people and not be just a group of diehards, which I think a lot of clubs are barely surviving because we've got diehards hanging in there. And when they see the group and realize the average age is about 70, they don't feel like it's a good fit. So, getting people in and might mean being a little more creative.
Sure.
I've
Yeah,
often
that's-
wondered if Toastmasters was going to change word like masters, sergeant of arms, those types of things that could be off-putting to various ethnic groups.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen or heard anything like that. Have you heard anything, Troy?
Yeah, those are some good pointers. I'll speak from personal experience. So my first club was in Lompoc, like I said. I think about the average age was maybe 50, 55. I think there were a couple people in their 20s and 30s there, but it was mainly older people. That never dissuaded me from joining the club because the club was so great. And like I said, it was explained to me very quickly and very easily what Toastmasters offers. And if you got a young professional that's in their 20s and 30s, I think they might actually like being around people that are like DTMs and have a lot of experience, not just in Toastmasters, but in life and in the professional working spot. Because we have the bars, we have the clubs, if we want to be around just people our age, right? But I know I see what you're talking about. Like if there's maybe somebody that's a little bit more timid that comes in and they're like, oh gosh, but we just want, we win them over with kindness. We win them over with friendliness. Like I said, I'm never.
Good speech. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I never forgot how warm and welcome those people are. So if you do that, Rita, I think that'll help. And the last thing I'll say about it is I kind of liked that structure at that meeting. Some clubs are going to be a little less structured. Some are going to be more. You guys got to find out what works for you. But another good thing to do is try going to some other clubs, see how they do things. Maybe you could bring some of that back with you. Just go to a meeting or two to another club, see what they do good, what they don't, and then you could kind of reshape yourself that way.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else got anything?
Just one really quick comment. Just clubs have a lot of possible ways to spend money these days. I mean, they can, host a server for a website. They can pay for advertising. They can buy a monthly Zoom account.
Mm-hmm.
So if the district ever had any suggestions on best practices towards that, I think it might be helpful. I don't know how much longer, people be doing all the hybrid stuff, but most clubs only have so much money. And then if they want to do some, open houses, PR, host food, that's all. Just a little comment there.
Yeah. Thanks, Celeste. I know, some clubs might only charge $1 for membership for just the club dues. Some clubs might charge $5, and when some clubs get more money, they can do more things. But I think there should definitely be a market budget for advertising, like on the Facebooks or even, thanks, Jelana. You can even maybe look into Google ads. Google ads are very powerful too. I'll maybe talk about those in the next presentation. Thanks, Sheena. But I'm trying to think. When we were in person, it was very easy to have a budget for like an open house where you could just have get a lot of food there because everybody loves food. And you have a big old dinner before your club thing, and then you have the club. But one tool you can always utilize me. I can help you with content. I can give you pointers if you create content, or if, like I said, if you guys need that video, if you just want me to send it to you with your contact information, I can do that. So don't be afraid to ever reach out to me for content. Because we in the district, we have a paid Canva account, so we get the top of the line. We can make stuff for you. Oh, thanks, Rita. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay. Oh, thanks,
How
Paul.
do people get the YouTube of this presentation?
Oh, okay. So thanks.
It'll be on the district website?
Later this month, I'm going to be sending out our podcasts. I don't know if you guys, you see our podcast. We have the True Stories for District 6 Toastmasters, which I hope you guys will be on. If you want to be on, let me know. And we have the Learning with Leaders, but I will also send out this presentation with those two. So everybody will get that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to make sure you're on the emailing list for that?
Oh, are you not getting the district email, Sandy?
I don't think I am.
I'll re-download the membership list, and I'll make sure that it's, because we in the district, we have access to everybody's email, and we upload that to our what's called App Center. So hopefully that works out. Are people in your club getting them?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yep, I
Yeah.
know. And I can double check my email, make sure it's not going into like a different folder.
Yeah, and if you can actually go into Club Central too. Have you ever been in there?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you can totally update your information there. Maybe, are you getting normal Toastmasters emails?
I am, yes. Yep, I know for sure I get the international ones.
Okay, then maybe, yeah, we just have to upload you. I'll look into that.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else got any questions?
Should I ever answer the M&Ms, plain or peanut?
Oh,
totally different things.
Oh, yes, they are. They really are. I like the peanut M&Ms.
Much more addictive when you get that peanut.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, it's like you're getting some protein, so it's not as bad for you. Oh, thanks, Sandy.
I'm coming to res. I'm coming to res.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much, Troy. Really appreciate it. Great event.
Oh yeah, thanks, Vicky.
So Troy, peanut M&Ms, they're healthy? Is that what you're saying?
Well, in my mind, I kind of think that they're not as bad for you as the chocolate, but maybe they are, because they're probably more calories,
Hey, I'll go for anything chocolate. But anyway, I'm going to say goodnight. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Yep. And if you guys have anything you guys want me to cover in the next training that's coming up in a few months, just email me, let me know. All right, we'll probably call it a night here. So thanks, everybody. Good night.